Hey YouTube, what's up? Johnny Glock here. Man, I'm really excited. I've been really working on these Gen 5s, and it's exciting, man. I tell you what, this is one safe gun. The more I work on it, I know I said, oh, we've seen this before in the first video. That's because I didn't have that gun in my hand for a time, and I wasn't able to like really just tear the thing apart and get down and dirty with all the different parts. But there is definitely some things on this gun that are innovative as far as, well, I mean, let's just, they've already done the innovation with the 42 and 43, and then they've built upon that platform, I think, with this. There's some really interesting things going on here. First of all, I'd like to thank Chris G from Orlando, right here in the state of Florida. This is his Gen 5 that I'm working on, and the cool thing about this is it's just like the 42 and the 43 when they first came out. The parts are not available for us yet through Glock, so every time I do anything to these guns, man, there is no room for error whatsoever, and it really does something different. At least to me, you know what I mean, where you just have this laser beam attention. Not that I don't have that, with every gun that I'm working on as I'm going, but it's just these parts, like there's no room for error whatsoever with any kind of set screws I'm setting or any kind of modifications I'm making, because they don't exist. I would literally have to buy Chris another Gen 5 and start from scratch, which I definitely don't want to do. And so it's kind of a cool upping your bar as a smith to know that it's like, oh, you better, this is it, you got the one shot. So with that said, a lot of guys loved and love the Gen 3 trigger because it is so adaptable to the 3.5 connector. And so what happens is you have that real undefined wall with less resistance, and with that compromise, I shouldn't say compromise, but with that comes a spongy feel to it. But now a lot of people don't differentiate, I mean, like, I'm the guy that likes a click. I mean, I really like a wall and then snap, you know what I mean? And to me, that's a really great trigger. It's predictable. It's really what I'm after. It's what I try to build first in a Glock. I'm not going to try to grab this Glock and first say, let's make this as as spongy as possible and give it no wall. But believe me, there is a great population out there that loves that rolling break with no wall whatsoever. That's why Ghost has created these connectors that do that. There's no wall. Okay, with that said, those gentle or graduated connectors give you a quicker reset because there's less bar to come past the edge on the connector, but at the same time, like I said, it's taken a longer time to take that bar back and then drop it off, detach it from the striker lug face. Now, the thing with these, Gen 5s, I guarantee you this is the radius from the Gen 3 bar. The way it is feeling with the 3.5 connector and even with the dot connector, it is Gen 3 all over again as far as the feel is concerned back there when you're using these different connectors. Consequently, I've thrown, with this gun I was using a Gen 4 setup. The Gen 4 setup will go right into there. Like I said, I'm going to get one of these for myself and really run the hell out of it so I know exactly what I can and can't do. And then I'll do it to your gun, so Chris, don't worry, this is going to be all these parts. But being the mad scientist, I have thrown other parts in there and just dry fired it. But the key is like live firing it for 200-300 rounds. So this, the one thing about this, so that's the one thing. Okay, very Gen 3-ish. The one thing that Gen 3s have that these don't have is like the one thing that this has that Gen 3s don't have is this insane engagement. So this is like the 5th or 6th one of these I've worked on, or not worked on, but just had my hands on and have studied. And these, the way this design is right there with that cruciform kick up, that trigger, look how high it's riding. It is riding so high that when you put this on the frame and look at engagement, it's it's kind of hard to get that in there. You just can't see it. I mean, I'm going to pull the trigger. Of course, it's an empty gun, everyone, because I just had the slide off and there's no magazine, because I am pointing it at myself right now. But if you can see this, I'll straighten it out there for you. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's too much shadow in there to really see the, and I don't have a decent light around. I'll try this light to see if I can do it real quickly. Oh, this might actually work. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so. Oh, no, there's still a shadow, so let me try to turn it this way. There. Okay, so now let's see if we can see the striker. See if we can see the sear dropping out from. It's still so hard to see, man. Anyway, so you have to take my word for it. This design is safe as hell. Also, something else they did is they brought back, I would say it's like a modified Gen 2 thing where the Gen 3s have, and 3s and 4s have the shelf on the striker that has the, the two shelves. Oh my God. Has the two shelves right there. Okay. That causes some issues sometimes. Do this with quickness. So I'm gonna pop this striker out so you can see here. This striker has, and as you saw, these ones, I'll step out of the way here, are they're rounded at the end, they're radiused. Whereas this one is just one shelf, and this is from from the 42 and 43 deal. This right here, see how it's just one shelf, and it's flat right there. So this is not getting through the breech face unless that safety plunger is depressed. It's not the same safety plunger as the 42 or the 43. It's a little bit longer, and there's probably some reasons for that I'll figure out after a while. The back plate is different as well. There's a lot of things that have changed in here, and it's pretty cool to work with this gun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down with everything I've said, and I just want to show you guys something, and I haven't worked this out quite yet completely, but trust me, I will. We always talk about the trigger pull. So this is pretty much maxed out as far as pre-travel is concerned. Maybe I should do it this way. Right there. All right, so you can see the safety tab popping out. It is safe. The safety trigger tab is engaged in the back. The whole thing of light coming through there. You can't really see it completely with the light, but back you can see if I pull on either side of this, it's not going anywhere, and you can see it's sticking out engaged. So this is probably the most pre-travel I can safely take out of this gun before I start dropping off the shelves in the back, and consequently you can see the distance right here on those crossbars of the cruciform. They tend to have a lot more meat in them, a lot more length than these ones. I'll calibrate them, but I can just tell by looking at them. They're pretty stout, and you can almost visually see that right there. That's a lot of metal on the sides to keep it straight on the shelves. This is pretty cool too. There's like a little hood right here on this part, and I'm sure that's because it's might smack up against the new safety plunger they have right there. If you would run the kind of grab this thing and do as if it was actually ejecting, and how that's gonna run in the gun. So that's big. Safety's big, guys. Come on, we all know that. Push this down here. And it came, he had this is like, the Gen 3 non-captured guide rod. So as we were saying, right here, that's about as far as I can go. Okay, you can see this trigger tab now. And then from here, got a little nudge, and we're already on the wall. All we're doing is engaging the wall a little bit firmer. But if you start to watch this pull, it's going to see how it had more of like a little bit of a rolling break, almost like the almost like the exactly like your Gen 3s with the 3.5 connector. Break. There you go. Okay, so and then the way the design is, it is going way further back than the Gen 3s and Gen 4s before it's even hitting my trigger stop that's in the housing. So there's your reset. The reset, and that's only for the first shot that you're going to have that wonk, and after that, it's just going to be, and I tend to put my finger here like this. So once again, you're running that gun. It's short, it's maybe a little over a 1/16 of an inch. And then this is a 3.5 pound connector in here. Bring it out like this. I'm going to, just had that dang thing. It's probably right in front of me. I can't see the trigger gauge, my trigger gauge. Anyway, we'll try to do that a little later in the programming. I'm going to grab right now another gun just to show you what I'm talking about here. And so here's the trigger right here and you can definitely see, watch the stop here, stops there. And that is far different from stopping there. See how we're almost all the way back. Now, if any of you have done this kind of work before, if you have the set screw too far forward in the trigger housing window, that it's just not going, the shot is just not going to break. And we are just about maxing that out, so you can see how far back this trigger is coming. Not that that's good or bad, I'm just saying position wise, it's just further back in the guard. Whereas with this setup, now this is a Gen 3, but it is a Gen 4 bar in it, and that's why it stopped right there. See, dead stop. And the resets are kind of similar. This one isn't completely tuned, but I can definitely get more out of this reset from this gun if I want to. So this is a Gen 3 bar. See, went all the way back. Reset, all the way back. Reset, all the way back. Looks very similar to this Gen 5, doesn't it? All the way back. So that's really why one of the things with that Gen 4 bar, and I don't know why everyone uses the Gen 3 bar and this stuff. I mean, I probably shouldn't even say anything about it, but the point is that for me, the Gen 4 bar and the way you can modify it and stuff like that is just, I like it better. I like that stop, way ahead of time, like right there, and it's got the clickiness. And with this too, see, all the pre-travel's taken out. You don't have that, oh, see what I'm saying? You don't have that, then break. And believe me, I'll get that out of there. It's gonna take a little bit of, Johnny Glock stuff, but with this one, right here at the wall, snap. Here at the wall, snap. Now, I'm even considering like cutting this off right here to turn a Gen 4 bar into this new platform where it can actually grab the, where it can be grabbed right here by the whole new spring thing that they have, which could be done. Anything can be done. It's changing the metal around. It's just a matter of testing it to make sure that it works. So so far with this, these have been my findings. I just thought I would pass them on to you. It's cool too with the new Gen 5s. You can drop them down like this and put it on right where because it's an ambi. So instead of having to go all the way through the front, you can put it on right there. That's another kind of cool. Well, this is a little off there. Another cool thing about it, you don't have to go all the way like this. You can just go like this and put it on. So I had to make this short because I gotta be home soon. And let me pull this back up. But anyway, it's a process, and I thought I'd like invite you guys into the process of what I'm doing here, because the set screws are installed in this gun, and I'm working toward dialing it in. I've taken as much out of it. I've sucked as much out of it as I can, as far as and let me get this, as far as the plug and play stuff is concerned, I have not started changing radiuses and doing all the other things that I've done to the other generations, just because number one, it's late in the day, and number two, I have got to make sure exactly what I'm doing is going to cut the mustard and be safe and reliable and functional and all that other stuff. So that's the video for today. www.johnnyglocks.com. Phone number, remember, you got to call me, 941-376-4383. You're on the YouTube channel, so I guess that's about it. You guys have a great night, and I will see you sooner than later, because I'm going to shoot a couple series on these videos. I mean, a couple videos in a series on this Gen 5. All right, take care.